Have you ever been so excited to start something new? Maybe a new idea, a new opportunity, or maybe even a new project that you rushed into it only to realize that you were moving too fast? Well, my name is Rita Stevens. I am a speaker and I'm also the author of Unexpected Patterns of Purpose and the founder of Silent Voices. Today, I want to share a simple moment with my dad that completely shifted how I think about leadership, business, and purpose. And it all started with a golf cart. You see, my dad is 81 years old and he is a double amputee. He is one of the most courageous people that I know, and he is determined to cut his own grass on his own lawnmower, and he does just that. You see, recently he told me how frustrated he had become because he wasn't really able to get around the way that he wanted to. It kind of felt like the walls were closing in on him. So, my nephew decided that he was going to purchase a golf cart and surprise him. So a couple of days later, I reached back out to my dad and I asked him, "Hey, have you had a chance to even ride the golf cart?" Well, he answered just like this. I'm figuring. Now, if you know my dad, then you know that that is his way of saying, I'm thinking about the approach that I want to take. Then he said something that totally stopped me in my tracks. He said these words. You see, sometimes when your body has been hurt, you have to slow down and think about it. You see, that one sentence, it changed everything. His words hit me because they were not just about his body, they were about life, they were about leadership, they were about business, and most importantly, they were about purpose. Because the truth is, we often rush, we push, we chase that next idea, that next initiative, that next must do, but rarely do we slow down long enough to even plan with intention. You see, my dad's words reminded me of something that I call purpose driven planning. Well, what is purpose driven planning? It's simple, but it's powerful. The first step is knowing your why and making it visible. You see, too often, especially in healthcare, nonprofits, and even in the corporate setting, we say that we are working for the client or the patient. But sometimes the real motive is metrics, is pressure, is performance, and even the desire to keep up with appearances. I'm sure you have felt the same thing even in your own life. You see, purpose driven planning forces you to ask, why is it so important? Why does this matter? Who am I truly serving? And you will see that when your team understands the why, they connect to the mission. When you understand the why, you connect to the mission and you execute with purpose. Now, that's what I call connecting to purpose. You see, a first example of me connecting to purpose was when I worked in a local children's hospital. I went into an operating room and I went in to just fix a computer. But as I was standing in that operating room, I looked over and there was a child laying on the table. Now, the child had experienced a very severe allergic reaction. So severe that the child's eyes literally swelled up like baseballs on the front of the child's eyes. Well, as I was standing there, welling up in tears, that child reminded me of my own child. You see, at the time, my son was around the same age as that child, and I didn't even know that that moment revealed to me how important it was to have good care, the right connection, and the right time. Well, how is that my connect to purpose? Well, now that I have my younger son, Bryson, who happens to be a special needs child, it takes me back to that moment. It helps me remember what I saw and what the important things were in that time. Those moments have allowed me to connect to my purpose. Now, the second step in this purposeful planning is identifying the simplest path to execution. Now, as a Lean Six Sigma professional, I value efficiency, not busyness. I like everything to be clear. I want to have clarity in what I'm doing. So when you slow down, you see the barriers. You are able to slow down and see those wasted steps. When you slow down, you can preserve your momentum. I don't know about you, but I know I have been here before where I'm trying to start a new business and you want to do all of these things and then you get tired and then you get frustrated. So when you slow down, you are able to have less burnout, less frustration, and more sustainable progress. The third step in this purposeful planning is making sure that you align with your long-term purpose. You see, slowing down allows you to have that space to ask the real question. Does this align with my mission? Does this build the future that I want? Does this serve the people that I am called to impact? Now, as a special needs mom, as I mentioned, I know the importance of having intentional services that are for our children and for our families. But that is exactly why I too have to slow down. Because rush planning leads to misaligned programs, more reactive decisions that lead to weakened partnerships. And when I slow down, I can remove programs that no longer serve our community. We build stronger frameworks and we create partnerships that truly matter. The same is true for you. Even if this is your personal life, when you are able to slow down, you can create friendships and connections that truly matter. You are able to build strong schedules that work for you and your family. And you can remove things and maybe activities that no longer serve your life. So let me ask you a question that I had to ask myself as well. Where do you need to slow down? Where do you need to pause? Where do you need to think? Where do you need to breathe? So that you can engage in this purpose-driven planning in your life. Because sometimes, the most powerful strategy that you can use, it's not speed, it's not the hustle, it's not forcing it. It is simply having the courage to slow down. You see, sometimes when we slow down, we may feel like we are being left out of something or we're going to miss something. But in actuality, it actually gives you the time to plan so that you don't miss anything. If this message has encouraged you today, make sure that you share it with someone else. Make sure that you take the time to evaluate those areas where you need to slow down. And then, last but not least, I want you to make sure that you like and subscribe and share so that you don't miss another episode. And until next time, I want you to remember that your story, your pace, and your purpose, they all matter. See you next time.